I spent 18 hours a day out shooting for 3 years for one block, and it was crazy. I couldn't bear to go home because my fiance was going through cancer at the time, and she was at the hospital all the time, and she liked to be alone there. That was her way of coping and getting through it. So my anxiety was just intense, and I had to be out there, and that's just what was going on at that time. I decided to stay within the same block area because it was very interesting to me to capture this nightlife, and it's hard to do. It was a challenge because it's not like a big city where there's millions of people. It's very few people, and you have to make sure that you're out there getting what you need. You have to be there. This is the photo that was chosen for the cover, and I believe it was worthy of the cover because it was very cold in the middle of winter, and I was walking across the street and there was nobody in sight, and this amazing character just popped out, and he was framed under that light while he was walking, and the bricks and the reflection, it just worked. It's so amazing to capture the beauty of the street. This girl was just vibing to the music and dancing around all over the place, jumping up and down, sparks flying from her cigarette, never left her mouth. And this other guy is just standing there with his eyes closed, just taking in the beauty. It was amazing. This is one of those moments in time where people might not want this to be captured, might not want to look at this and see what's going on. But it's reality, and it's beautiful. Even though it's painful, it's the truth. And just look at the intensity and the emotion. It's a wonderment. It's so good to see people on the streets that have a purpose. And you might not know what I mean by that, but there's a lot of freedom on the streets. And you might not think people like it, but there's a lot of people out there that do like being on the street and sending a message of their own. I just like the way things just pop up when I'm shooting street photography. It's just, you never know what's going to happen. You just turn the corner and there's that. Like this photo here where it looks like the tattoo is envious of the woman. And it's just, neither one of them know each other. They were just walking by. This is a photo that was fun because I was getting ready to take a picture of the actual electrical box with painting on it. And then this girl walked by and she had the same type of feet and was walking in the same manner. I was, wow, and just had to get that. It's, one of the reasons I do street photography. It's candid. This photo means a lot to me because when you're looking at people on the street, you really can't tell who's who. And you can think someone's really awkward and out of place and odd, but the person that you think is the most normal could be the strangest. This is one of those intense moments if you're out doing street photography and you want to be up close. And I didn't know it said only God can judge me until after the photo came out, because he threw a bow at him and hit him right in the cheekbone. They were toe to toe. It was crazy. That's another reason I love street photography. Just being there, right into it. Juxtaposition. That's another thing that makes candid street photography so beautiful. It's so great to see someone helping others when he could have easily arrested her. But instead, he stayed with her, calmed her down, helped her out, got her some water, and got her a ride home. That's just not what you normally see. This guy is amazing. He was just sitting, pushed back far into a bush, just watching people go by and smiling and just happy that he was having some kind of social connection with everyone that walked by. Would wave at him and he would smile, and it was just great, and it was just so awkward. And that's what I like about this. This guy was coming out of a hotel, and he was such a character. He was the man. He was having the time of his life. But there was something I regret about this photo. Is upon his death, his family contacted me through Facebook, and I was out of state at the time, and I didn't get the message, and they really wanted to use this photo for his funeral. This made me feel so bad because they said that he saw the photo online and he loved it so much, and I'm going to send them a limited print, and I hope that that makes them feel happy and helps them remember him and the happiness that he had. This was a wonderful shot because it had been a while since I'd seen Hare Krishnas, and hardly ever had I seen them in the Midwest. Because when I was young and shooting street photography down in Arizona and homeless, they gave me food and shelter and helped me out, and it was just wonderful to see this. It can be very lonely when you're out doing street photography, even though there's so many people around you. And then you start to become friends with the people living on the streets. And this is one of my friends, Jon the Blonde. He used to pick up cigarette butts and clean up the streets. And he was just such a crazy guy. He'd always laughing, always making jokes, and a very great artist. He would draw on cardboard boxes that he got out of the trash, and he always hated his own art, so he would just throw it right back in the trash, and I'd run over there and just grab it and throw it in the back of my car and save it. And every time I come back to Columbia, I try to get more of his art, because as soon as I collect enough pieces, I'm going to do a gallery showing for him to help him. I was in a really dark place at this time, and I saw this, as you might see this. It's called The Crossing, and you can interpret it the way you want, but I saw it pretty bleak. I really like this shot. It's called Upright, and what fascinated me about this was the connection between humans and primates and how close they are. And the light hit it so much that it, at the right time, just bringing such a connection. And yeah, I love it. When you're out doing street photography, you need to make sure that you not only look at the elements of the people's faces, but the figures and the story that the street tells. This is one of the shots I like most from the series, and not because it's one of the highest grossing, but because it was showing my agi to myself. I turned a corner, I saw this guy doing a backflip, and I slowed everything down and caught it with his foot right on the wall, exactly where I wanted it. this is what street photography to me is all about. The emotion, the drama, the complete experience of just being a part of the streets.